There's people trying to make 1,000 wheel horsepower and using it as a daily driver. This section is about realistic power. Because it's easy to make a lot of power, the turbo engine has become very popular to make extreme amounts of power without people understanding what the compromises are in that.
So how much is too much?
How much is too much? Well, it depends on what you're using the car for.
Right.
But just to give you some perspective, a Formula One engine makes 1,000 horsepower, a current Formula One engine. 150 of that is on the electric motor hybrid, 850 is the gasoline.
Yep.
Okay. An equivalent amount of power, and by the way, it's a 1,600cc engine.
Yep.
Equivalent amount of power in a 3-liter B&W engine would be 1,300 wheel horsepower or just under 1,600 flywheel horsepower.
In terms of the cc's of the engine and how much power it makes per cc.
Right, because what makes power is pressure in the cylinder.
Sure.
And times the size of the engine.
Yep.
Right, so
a Formula One engine at 850 is equivalent to an S58 out of an M3 at
1,300.
1,300, okay.
So just to give you some perspective, Mercedes-Benz spent approximately $1.4 billion on engine development on the F1 motor.
That's a bit.
That's a bit. And they have a very sophisticated engine management system, a team of 50 engineers to make constant improvements to it. And the engine still runs 2,500 miles is when they light the engine out, 2,500 miles.
Okay.
Right. So people are trying to put 1,300 power on the road car. I don't think they're really comprehending this is a 2,500
I think
mile engine.
What you need to understand and accept is that at that type of power and that type of load in the engine, your usable miles are going to reduce dramatically.
Now it also depends on how you use the engine. If you're what most people build cars like this is to go like these airport contests where they do, roll on
top speed runs, standing miles,
and then they take them home, put them in the garage, right? Yeah. And if you're going to do, just 10 or 20 of those a year, and you're going to put 1,000 miles on it, well, then the thing will last a couple of years that way, right?
Sure.
And
or drag strip, quarter-mile passes, right? It's a very short hit. It's not very long.
Right. But when you also tune an engine like this without the sophisticated engine management system that F1 has, there's a really good chance you'll hurt the engine while tuning it, because you have to realize they're managing so many parameters in the engine management system to make sure the engine will live.
Yes.
And when you have a street car ECU, what they do is they turn a lot of what we call D-rates at CarBahn, derate the engine based on power or torque or exhaust gas temperature or lots of different variables. And because Bosch and BMW spent a lot of time making it so you can't break your engine, how they make that kind of power is they remove a lot of those things.
You're talking about people who are trying to tune the car for gross amounts of power.
Correct. I mean, the right way to do this would be spend $10 million making a new engine management system for the engine that had all new parameters for this 1,300 horsepower.
New expansion rates, new control, new everything.
New everything, yes. But that's a very expensive process, and nobody in the aftermarket has the money to spend. Nobody in the aftermarket has the money to spend on the engine if you were to do that correctly. Sure. So what we do is we take a street car engine, we take a lot of safety parameters out of it. Then because it can't flow enough fuel flow, and these are almost always E85 tunes, then they add auxiliary injection system.
And you're saying I want to correct you on that. It's not us at CarBahn, it's people in the industry with those goals.
Yes. We don't make 1,300 horsepower engines. We don't think it's a good engine for a road car.
Yeah.
We think it belongs in a race car with a team of 50 engineers.
Sure.
But there's a lot of people that seem to want to make them.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people out there tuning them, and we make racing engines for people that want to make that kind of power, and they're very good engines. But the level of sophistication of the engine management and the level of engineering for both the engine management and even the engine itself is not on the same level as Formula One.
And it needs to dictate your expectations.
It needs to dictate your expectations. So when you build a racing engine, there's no warranty. Like we race in GT4, and you remember when we raced the Audi?
I do.
The engine went
the R8 with the V10, the 5.2 liter. Yep.
Yeah, the engine failed at 2/3 of the life that Audi recommended it should be changed. And we had to buy an engine at VIR on the race weekend between practice and the race and put it in.
We got incredibly lucky. I remember that we had a shortened race because of lightning at the corner worker stand the race prior, and it failed in practice one of the following race, meaning that it probably would have failed before the race previous had we gone the full distance.
Right. Yep. So we got lucky. We put a new engine in. I think it was $16,000 was the engine. But again, these engines are on racing engines. We're only making 400 horsepower. They're only rated for 18,000 miles. I think this thing died at 12,000 miles.
That sounds about right.
Yes. Now, by the way, we're only making 400 horsepower, right? Formula One motor runs 2,500 miles, right? So you're unlikely to get more than 5,000 miles on one of these, even if you're driving it back and forth to the event, putting half the miles on that way.
Yeah.
And that's okay as long as you understand that.
Right. Set your goal.
Right. And then also even Audi and BMW, when we were racing Audis and BMWs, they don't warrant the racing engines. There's no warranty on a racing engine. There's a warranty for materials and workmanship, like if we assemble it incorrectly or
sure,
something like that, we will certainly cover that. But because we know it's likely to fail fairly soon, we can't warranty it for durability. It's not possible.
It's not built for that purpose.
It's not built for that purpose. So you have to accept the fact that if you're going to build a 1,300 horsepower car, that unless there's something wrong with the engine when you get it, when it fails, you're an owner and you have to buy another one.
Right. And trying to make that power and setting yourself that goal, thinking about, I'm expecting this to last me 10,000 miles, 5,000 miles, whatever the reasonable number is for the power number you're trying to achieve.
Right. So even on the racing engine, when that Audi engine failed, we had to go buy a new one. Audi didn't warrant it.
Yep.
It cost us the money. We went back to racing it. But we've been racing for a while. I've been racing since 1980. 46 years of car racing. I put a lot of engines in a lot of race cars.
Sure.
Never had anybody warranty one for me. That's just not how it works.
It's not how the sport works.
Once you go racing, it's a racing engine.
Yeah.
So we have a graph here, and the graph is the approximate lifespan of an engine based on the power. So in red is the stock engine from BMW, the OEM engine. On green is one of our road car engines, and in black is a racing engine. And obviously, as the power goes up, the engine life goes down. You can see that based on the graph. And about the most you're going to get out of a road car engine without, putting a hole in the block and completely destroying it is if you're very, very careful to tune is maybe 900 or 1,000.
Yeah, that seems to be the number.
Flywheel horsepower, which is like high 700s to low 800s. Rear wheel horsepower. And even at that, we're guesstimating it's going to run like 5,000 miles.
Sure.
Now, the stock engine typically goes like 150,000 miles.
And that's stock power.
With stock power. We put more regular tunes in, it will still go like 140,000 miles. And even if you put our stage 1 power package in, the heat exchanger and software, and that makes 735 horsepower instead of the 500 and low 500s that BMW makes it. That thing will still last 120,000 miles.
Yeah, it's great performance and longevity.
Right. So if you have a very realistic power level, the engine will last a very long time. Chances are at 120,000 miles, you won't even own the car anymore. You'll be on to your next car. That's how I kind of judge what I'm going to tune.
Sure.
I want my car to run as long as I want to own that car.
Yeah.
Okay. I own a lot of cars. I typically only drive my cars 5,000 or 10,000 miles a year. So if anything I do will last, at least 40,000 miles.
And a testament to the durability of what you've built is that your former cars end up popping up in enthusiast marketplaces. We end up hearing from owners who have now taken a shepherdship of that vehicle and care for it, and it's still running.
Yeah, sometimes 10, 15 years old with 100,000 miles on them.
The old Stroker V10.
Yeah, a lot of them out there. Now, when you build a good road car engine, it will last a significant amount of time, and you can see that on the graph, and I think that one winds up making the same life expectancy of the stock engine at about 1,200 wheel horsepower. Yeah. Okay, and it's going to die really quickly. We recommend staying under 1,000, so we're trying to provide a 200 horsepower cushion. We recommend staying a couple hundred what BMW says it will do as well.
Yeah.
So then we get to the full racing engine, and let me back up a second. The road car engine will only last about 120,000 miles when driven normally. Okay, that's because we've increased the piston and cylinder wall clearance because we put forged pistons in. The piston's going to rot more and wear the rings. So even if you don't drive it fast, a high-performance engine lasts less time than a stock engine under normal driving conditions.
Because of the materials needed to be reliable at that load.
More likely the clearances than the materials.
Okay, got it.
You're opening up all the clearances, things can move around more. That causes wear. The clearances allow things to grow and work at extreme heat and extreme pressure. But when you're not under extreme heat and extreme pressure, you're driving around at low speed in traffic, it has an adverse effect.
Got it.
Plus, the extra valve spring tension, whereas the valve train, it's basically just not going to last as long. Now, it's still going to last a long time, 120,000 miles. Yeah. And again, if you stay under 1,000 flywheel horsepower, 820 rear wheel horsepower, it will last probably 60,000, 80,000 miles.
Yeah.
Very reasonable lifespan out of a 1,000 horsepower engine.
It is. Yep.
Yeah. Now, when you go to the racing engine with even more clearance and center pins, the engine wears out even faster than normal driving. It's probably, if you were to commute in it, why you'd make a 13 horsepower car to commute in, I don't know. But if you did, it'd probably last 100,000 miles instead of 150.
Sure. Yeah, maybe even less.
Right. And it will probably go, you can look at the chart, 13 to 1,500 horsepower before it gets down to 5,000 miles of use.
Right.
Right. Again, just depends on how you're going to drive the car, how much time you spend in boost and how much time you don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the most important thing that we're trying to press upon all the potential customers, enthusiasts, I guess, the thing we're trying to press upon the enthusiasts is be realistic about how much power you want to make. Understand what your objective is. Select the right components and/or tune for that engine so that you get what you want to get out of it.
And most importantly, try not to have indecision get involved. If you decide to choose products and parts and build an engine for a certain target, and then at the last second you try to add more, you're adding risk to the equation.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of people will buy one engine and then they drive it and they like the way it runs and they turn up the power, but they don't buy another engine, and the first engine wasn't rated for that power, and then they break the engine, and then they're not happy.
And there's no one to blame but their own decision.
Right, exactly right, yes. You're the one that decided to go there, So myself personally, I like to have cars I can drive every day. When I go racing, I go in a race car, like I know you do too. We go into IMSA Racing GT4.
Yep.
If I'm going to build a drag race car, I'm going to go to the drag race. I'm going to put it back in the garage. That way it's going to last several years.
Trailer it there, back and forth.
Trailer,
so
it's even better.
For that purpose.
All of our race cars are trailered to every racetrack.
Yep.
We run them. That way our 18,000 miles on our GT4 car lasts 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
And 2 full seasons on a racing engine is a very reasonable amount of time. It's part of the budget.
It is part of the budget. Consumables.
And we expect them to wear out.
Yep.
But then again, when you have a race car, you life everything out. The half shafts, the gearbox, everything has a mileage, and you change it all before the mileage is used up. But basically what we're trying to say is every time we build an engine, we're building an engine with a safety margin and built into it. The safety margin is smaller than the OEM. We typically going 15, 20% on something like this instead of 50%.
Yep.
But it still can be exceeded.
It's possible.
Yes. So next group of videos are going to engine management systems and how people try and engine management and manage these engines. We're also going to go into turbo sizing and things like that in future videos, so you understand about the auxiliary components or the tuning that's going along with the engines.
How they all work together.
Yeah, and what's a good choice and what's a bad choice. Just to give you a little preview, a lot of people think that a big turbo is always better.
I mean, it might make a bigger number on the dyno.
Right.
But when you're driving it, you're not spending much time on the dyno.
You're not, yes. So thank you for joining us for our Tech Tip Tuesday today on engines.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and head to carbahn.com to check out all of our new products.